Okay, so Atlas, right? Big Netflix blockbuster. Big Netflix blockbuster with Jennifer Lopez at the helm. Well, not at the helm. I mean, she's the star, right? It's made around her. So just dropped. So I gave it a look, right? It is directed by Brad Peyton, written by Leo Sardarian and Aron Eli Coleite. The film is then produced by Greg Berlanti, Jeffrey Fearson, Elaine Goldsmith Thomas, Jody Harold, Jennifer Lopez, Benny Medina, Brad Peyton, Sarah Schuster, and Tori Tennell. Executive produced by Samson Mook, Michael Riley McGrath, co-produced by Blondell Adio and Courtney Baxter, and associate produced by Richard Godwin. Andrew Lockington handled the music, John Schwartzman cinematography, Bob Duxey edits the piece, Denise Chamain and Beth Day were on the casting, right? Barry Chusid, production design. Art direction, we have Maddie Hayes, Rachel Robb Kondrath, Carl J. Martin, Anshuman Prasad, Rudy Schaefer, and Shimin Sefazedi. Victor J. Zoloff was set decoration. Costume design, we have Daniel Orlandi. Our cast. Right. Our cast. Well, people, Jennifer Lopez is Atlas Shepherd. Right. We have well, her mum, Val, is played by Lana Parrilla. Her robotic brother, Harlan, is played by Simu Liu. We have got Colonel Elias Banks, played by Sterling K. Brown. We have no, I'll come back to that. Yes, General Jake Booth is played by Mark Strong. Like, I was looking, I think I recognize that dude. And I say he looks kind of like Strong, but it was something that I wasn't quite sure. But no, it was Mark Strong. Okay. Oh, a younger version of Atlas is played by Briella Gozia. Ranger West is played by Adia Smith-Eriksson. Ranger Hughes, played by Logan Hunt. Ranger Shindo, played by Jared Shimabukuro. Ranger Aura, played by Ashley J. Hicks. Ranger Rodman, played by Paul Ganus. We have Zoe, played by Zoe Boyle. The Tech, played by Howland Wilson. We have got Seska Ducius, right? A right-hand man of Harlan, played by Adrian Popalua. So the arcs, the robots, the mechs, the voice of Atlas's is Smith, right? And he is voiced by Gregory James Cohan. Okie dokie. Who else do we have? SFS Commanders, played by Justin Walker White. SFS Technician, Michelangelo Hayon. We got another ARC pilot played by Gloria Cole. The news anchor, well, our news anchors are played by Vaughn Joseph, Supreet Bedi, Lorraine Tay, Greg McKenzie, and Haj Dillon. Yeah, that's essentially right our main group of people. Yeah, I would say so. Okay, so the gist of the story: Atlas Shepard, a brilliant but misanthropic data analyst with a deep distrust of artificial intelligence, joins a mission to capture a renegade robot with whom she shares a mysterious past. But when plans go awry, her only hope of saving the future of humanity from AI is to trust AI. Well, yeah. So, people, that's Atlas, right? That is Atlas. Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? It's an interesting one, right? We have this big friggin' blockbuster. And when you look at everyone involved, we got some good people, right? Really good fucking people up in there. And Brad Peyton, right? He's been behind some big, like he directed Rampage, San Andreas, right? A lot of rock films, Journey 2, right? The Mysterious Island. Some big films. Some big films. So you think, oh, he did Sweet Girl. Yeah, with Jason Momoa. Yeah, we looked at that one. That's on the pod a few years back, right? So yeah, he knows how to do an action film. You know what I mean? I mean, you can look at that and go, yes, 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 yes. The film is in, hands of people that have done this thing, countless freaking times, right? And then you've got Greg Berlanti producing, who, I mean, when you look at all the stuff that he's produced over the years, right? Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I really liked the first couple of seasons of that, I think. He's done all of the old DC TV shows, right? The Arrowverse, as people would call it. I'm not a fan of that stuff, but a whole heap of people are, right? So when you look at the film and you look at everyone behind it, behind the camera, in front of the camera, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. The film itself, it's not a new story. It's not a new story, which is fine. That's fine. We don't need a new story technically, right? Because everything's trodden ground. It's just, how are we telling this thing? Right? What are we doing here? And there's some interesting parts, right? There's definitely some interesting parts to it. But is that enough? Right? Is that really enough for this to work? You know what I mean? Now, we have a few different kind of bits just in the way they're doing it, like the whole Neuralink, which I don't know. I wonder if Elon's got an issue with that. You know what I mean? But we got the whole Neuralink interface with the Mech, which I don't think we usually get that, right? Yeah. So we have this big thing. Now, I think for me, some of the problems aren't necessarily with the story itself, but it's just the way things are portrayed, right? Now, when we look at this whole synopsis, right? It's our character, old Atlas, brilliant but misanthropic. That's what it said. Now, I think a lot of times, and we've seen this so often, right? That someone who isn't a people person, right, finds it difficult to relate and all of this. They just portray them as straight up rude. Straight up rude. And that's what we have here, right? We've got, Lopez, right? We first meet her. She's asleep on her sofa. She wakes up. Firstly, before everything else, right? We have her wake up and essentially leave the yard, right? No shower, no cleaning the teeth. Now we see a costume change, right? From the jumper, now she's in a kind of a suity type of thing. But it's like, did she shower? Did she shower? Did she clean her teeth? And we don't need a shower scene, right? Because that's always pointless. That's always weird. Because it's just like, what is this adding to the story? But just the notion of, right, someone going like, yes, I need to shower, right? It kind of looks like, "Hey, did that dirty, you know what I mean? Did she just leave her yard like that? We have, and her hair is all out. Now, it's not messy, it's just out, right? And that is significant to later in the film. Okay, that's why I mentioned that. But I think even she's wearing glasses. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's just rude, and it's just like, huh, like what are we doing here? What are we doing? You know? And so it gives you this weird kind of vibe because it's just like, I mean, look, she might not trust AI, but does that mean someone's going to act like that and then get everything they want, right? Because we have this thing where you have someone with no skills, but for some reason they're allowed to go do this thing. It's oftentimes with kids and young people, right? And they'll be like, okay, we're going to let these kids go on this really dangerous mission. Or it's like, only the kids can save it. And you're just like, wait, how does this make any sense? Right? If people with skills can't do the thing, why would people with no skill be able to do it and survive? Right? So, she's a data analyst, but you're sending her on this mission. It makes no sense whatsoever. And because she's rude as well, you're just like, wait, why would you? Why would you? Come on, please. Please, 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 please tell me. Right? And so, because of this thing with AI, throughout the film, all it is just trust me. I don't want to trust you. You know what I mean? Oh, you need to do, I'm not doing this. And it's just that. And it's just like, oh, can we please get over this shit? Because, right, and I think a big thing is when, like, think of Alien, right? Now, Ripley was a prickly kind of character, but Ripley makes more sense. And when Ripley had to do things, like there might not be something she particularly likes, but it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this thing. Because she knows if I drag my feet like a fucking moron, I'm gonna die. All these other people are gonna die. Newt's gonna die. Right? So you have Ripley making sense, doing shit. Now, in films, now you have someone, it's just like, oh, to be the strong female lead, you've got to rile up against, authority but it's just like, who in their right mind is doing that if your life's on the line? right? You have no skills. So you have to do this thing or you're going to die. But you're like, I don't wanna. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we get that throughout the film. Throughout. And another big thing, right? We have this big distrust for AI. So why the fuck is she still playing chess? Why the fuck is she still playing chess? Right? If you're pushing away everything that reminds you of Harlan, why the fuck are you still playing chess? Doesn't make any sense, right? And that's the problem. Even when we learn about, Harlan's reasons for doing what Harlan is doing, it doesn't really make any sense when we see the flashbacks, right? Because it just makes you question, okay, if that's the thing, then why that and that, right? That's it. And so that's the problem. The most part with this film is trying to believe the scenario, like the people within the scenario, right? The scenario's fine. AI trying to take over the world, to help mankind. It's just like we've seen it. That's fine. That's fine. It's believable too, right? But it's just like, okay, if this is the case, why are all these things happening? You know what I mean? Why? Why is this person the way this person is? Right? Why are you depicting someone like this? Then you just have the other typical things of people. You're in these situations, right? You're running around, you're hot, you're sweaty, but no one actually sweats, right? You're kind of in other scenarios, but you're not really dirty, right? Strategic cuts. There's a bit towards the end when you see when you see Atlas, and then when you see oh god damn it, what's homie's name again? Ridak. Right, what is wrong with my fucking mind? Banks. Yes, when you see Atlas and Banks is all battered up, right? And you just be like, okay, if Banks is looking like that, surely Atlas would look similar. No, right? And you're just like, wait, what? Okay, right? We have a lot of these moments when we've been told, right, these people are deadly and all of this kind of thing. But it's that whole thing when someone gets someone, it's, in James Bond, right? When the villain has Bond banter rights, strapped up, ready to die, instead of just killing him, it's just like, I'm going to go on a half-hour monologue first, right? I'm going to give you plenty of time to escape, and it's just like, wait, what do we? So, we have a lot of that, a lot of moments where someone, they should act right away, right away. We know they know this, but instead, there's a lot of photo taking, a lot of stargazing, right? And you're just like, why? Why would this? Where's the action? Why is someone not doing the thing when we know they know, right? They know the perils of this situation. So it don't make any sense, yo. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that, right? The action is fine. Right, there's a load of CGI, so of course there's some bits that work, some bits that do look real fake, and a bit goofy. But I think when you're so heavy in the CGI, right, you can run the risk of that thing. You know what I mean? Now, it's a film which is trying to show you trust is important, right? Just because you've been hurt by someone doesn't mean you should close yourself off to everyone. And that's a fine sentiment to have. It's a fine sentiment. We get this. But I think you need to, for me anyway, you need to show more for that to really hit home, right? You can't just have someone throughout the film being like, I don't trust this thing. And be like, no, no. But no real trying to build those barriers. And then we do a complete 180. It's just a bit all over the place. It's all well and good having Jennifer Lopez as your star. But I think when we've seen Lopez work the best is when she has more people to bounce off of. And in this film, everyone else is just a bit character. And when you're not really giving people a lot of information on someone, when you have an ensemble cast, right? Loads of people in something. If they're just like, oh, here's the team, and we might get a name, but that's it. You know those people, they're not around long, let's say. We know that, right? And I think that's the big thing here. We have a load of people, but we don't get to know any of them. And so everything is riding high on Lopez. And again, I don't know if it's in the contract. I don't want to look terrible in a film, right? Because even when you've been banged around in a machine and you crashed and you've done all of this, your hair's still fine, right? Your makeup's still good. You're not a sweaty, dirty mess, right? I don't know if that's a big thing in the contract that, you know, what I mean, I want to look good, right? If it is, you can't have her lead these kind of films because it just makes it weird, right? It's you can't believe in the situation, you can't believe in the peril, right? Because you know she's getting out, you know she's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? It's you need to have more people playing off of her for her to really be effective. And in this film, we don't. We don't. You know? One other thing though, with these mechs, what the fuck is wrong with this design? Because you have people real loose in them, and it's just like, don't make any sense, right? There's too much room for someone to move about and get banged up, right? It's just like, hey, what? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Just saying. Now, this film does feel like it's set up for more. I mean, I don't know how much money was spent. I imagine a fair chunk, right? It might not be as much as an Endgame, a Mission Impossible, or Fast and the Furious, but I'm imagining it's not a small budget. So, yeah, I imagine this film has to do really, really well to get more. But it does feel like it's set up for more. Now, I mean, you could maybe continue it as an animated film or an animated TV series. I think that would be a cost-effective way of doing it. Because you know, it's like they try to establish something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yes, Atlas is now out. It's on Netflix. I would say, right? If you enjoyed the Rebel Moon films, you'll like this. If you enjoy, um, ooh, what are we trying to say this is similar to? I mean, like, you know what? Blue Beetle, we looked at that last week. If you liked Blue Beetle, I think you would probably enjoy this. You know, I think there's some similarities with those films. Pacific Rim. I think if you really enjoyed Pacific Rim and its sequel, you'll like this. Like Hands of Stone, right? That action film. Yeah, yeah. similarities, right? I think those kind of features, a Fast and the Furious, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. If you enjoy those films, right, I think Atlas will work for you. So yeah, it's out on Netflix. It's my thoughts, baby. Let me know what you think of this one.